And welcome back to Dads on the Air, coming to you around Australia on the Community Radio Network. In this program, we bring you informing and entertaining conversations with a wide range of interesting people on topics of fatherhood, family and parenting, and men's and boys' issues. Hi, I'm Bill Kable, and with me in the studio today is Michael Winnell. Michael is formerly a pharmaceutical representative. He's now occupied full-time as the leader of the Foreskin Revolution. This revolution is targeting the continuing practice of male circumcision in the three Western countries with the most significant numbers, namely the US, Canada, and Australia. Michael lived and campaigned in New York until recently, but is now building momentum in Australia and has recently appeared on SBS television. Michael, welcome to Dads on the Air.
Oh, thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Michael, there does seem to be a lack of concern generally that I've observed, a lack of awareness even in Australia that circumcision is still occurring. But do we need a revolution?
Well, absolutely. So what we've had in Australia is an evolution. So since the 1970s, circumcision rates have started to decline at the rate of about 1 percentage point a year. So from the 1970s, where the rate was around 60 or 70%, it's now come down in 2019 to about 10%. But the whole significance of the concept of revolution is having enthusiasm to actually end this harmful practice, because it's not being ended. It's still being carried on day to day. Every half hour in Australia, a little boy is strapped down and has the most sensitive part of his body hacked off without his consent in an irreversible fashion. And it's time for that to stop. Hence the need for people to get behind this cause and help the children of Australia and the men that they become.
Yes, in May 2016, we had Paul Mason on the program, and that was in connection with the Worldwide Day of Genital Autonomy, which was May 7. Is that still a worldwide day, and have we made any improvements since then, do you think?
Yeah, look, it's a significant day on the calendar symbolically, and there has been overall progress to a degree. Rates are falling in the three remaining developed countries that still practice any significant degree of circumcision. The US, the rates are now down to about 56%, and Canada's down to about 25%. Australia's down to between 7 and 10%. So there has been progress made, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
So, you mentioned that the numbers have gone down generally. What's the situation in Australia at the moment?
So in Australia, from a high in the 1950s of about 80% circumcision rate of newborn males, it's now down in 2019 to between 7 and 10%. The Australian Institute of Genital Autonomy are currently processing the latest figures to work out an up-to-date figure. It could be as low as 7%, but the most recent figure we have is from 2015, which was 10%. And just to share with you, Bill, so that's about 15,000 boys a year. So, okay, on one hand, the great news is in Australia, circumcision has become incredibly unpopular and is much more uncommon. So that's the good news. The bad news is, in terms of absolute numbers, it's still a ton of children. It's 1 every 30 minutes or so. So right now, as we're speaking, a little boy in Australia is being strapped down limb by limb and having his foreskin torn away from the head of his penis, and then a scalpel hacking away at the flesh, tearing it off his body for the rest of his life, just in this time that we're speaking, to illustrate to the listener the reality and gravity of the situation.
So, apart from that brutality of it, do you have any other objections to circumcision?
Look, the key objection is it's done on non-consenting people. So, newborns can't consent to this procedure. And the fact is, as we know, when you look at Europe, for example, which has never done circumcision, you go to France, the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, Greece, Italy, they've never done circumcision, and no one is signing up for the practice. You don't have men walking around Milan or Barcelona or Amsterdam thinking, maybe I'll go in today and have the most sensitive part of my body hacked off. And this is a really important point. When you look globally, or even just within Australia, at the millions of Australian men that are intact with their foreskin and all, they're not electing to have it cut off. So this is a key insight to understand that people, both male and female, value their whole body and don't seek amputations in any significant way.
Your group is called Foreskin Revolution, which I guess is a branding thing which distinguishes it, say, from just talking about circumcision, which gets an immediate reaction. Is that the key to getting it better recognised in Australia, or one of the keys to it?
So Foreskin Revolution is a social movement that, as its mantra, has the sentence, "Why amputate when you can celebrate?" And it's based on the premise that forced amputation of children's healthy body parts does not belong in the 21st century. And the way we go about things at Foreskin Revolution is we try and educate on the harms of circumcision, but also bring a lighter touch. We try and bring humour and lightness to the topic. So we're very social media driven. We make videos, we do social media posts. We're on all social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. So if you just Google Foreskin Revolution Facebook or Foreskin Revolution YouTube, it'll come up and you'll see our videos. And it's a way of connecting with the public to lighten the load on what's a very confronting topic, because circumcision is a traumatic issue. Whether it's being done to you or a child, or the word just being brought up, it is a traumatic phenomenon. And so it's triggering for people. And in addition to that triggering aspect of it that creates more of a taboo, it's just taboo in society to talk about sex and genitals anyway. And so Foreskin Revolution tries to bring a lighthearted approach to break through the taboo so people can have more meaningful conversations.
Now, I'm just looking at you now with your T-shirt, and I don't know if those T-shirts are available on the website, but there's a graphic there of a new type of handshake. Perhaps you could tell us a bit about that.
So this is the Foreskin fist bump. You'll see this on our logo if you check out Foreskin Revolution online, foreskinrevolution.com, or Foreskin Revolution on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. And what it is, it's a picture of a fist with a hand on top of it, and this is the Foreskin fist bump. So when you give someone a fist bump, you punch you punch your knuckles against their knuckles in a fist. The Foreskin fist bump is putting your other hand on top, which is creating like the shape of a foreskin. So then when you fist bump with the two hands, you're actually replicating and representing the foreskin. So people actually, for the first time, get to sort of get a sense of what it sort of looks like and what it sort of feels like. And it's a really fun way of spreading the foreskin positive message. Don't just fist bump, foreskin fist bump. We've got a video on it, the Foreskin fist bump, which we filmed at Bondi recently, and that was also featured in the SBS The Feed episode on foreskin restoration. And it's our view that it's through social memes like a foreskin fist bump that we can actually spread the message and change the world and have fun with it at the same time.
Yes, you've even got your secret handshake, which is going to go a long way, I think.